Okay, y'all, I know everybody's talking about James Comey getting arrested, and I know there's a lot of trolls out there. Democrat. He's not a Democrat, okay? He was a lifelong fucking Republican. Trump wants him indicted because he didn't go along with what Trump wanted. He didn't do what Trump wanted, and he was a Republican, and Trump feels like he owed him. So Trump wants him indicted. Just the same way he wants everybody else that didn't toe the fucking line to be indicted. Republicans, Democrats, it doesn't matter to Trump, okay? If you did him dirty, he's coming for you. That's all. So people keep saying, oh, Democrat. He's a Republican. Get it right. And anyway, this is Fox News. Fox News. As former FBI Director James Comey publicly defends himself against a grand jury indictment, one legal analyst and former U.S. attorney argues that the case needs to be thrown out. I don't think there's a case. Fox News contributor Andrew McCarthy said on Mornings with Maria Friday, the Russiagate stuff, I'm as big a critic of that as probably there is. I wrote a book about it. I think it was a disgrace, and history will remember it that way. See, I don't agree with him on that. But this indictment is not about that. Comey has declared himself not afraid of President Donald Trump's Justice Department after being indicted Thursday for allegedly lying to Congress and obstructing a congressional proceeding. Comey was indicted by a grand jury following a probe centered on whether he lied to Congress during the September 30th, 2020 testimony about his handling of the original Trump-Russia investigation at the FBI, known inside the Bureau as Crossfire Hurricane. The indictment also alleges Comey falsely testified that he did not authorize someone at the FBI to be an anonymous source. My heart is broken for the Department of Justice, but I have great confidence in the federal judicial system, Comey said in an Instagram post. I'm innocent, so let's have a trial and keep the faith. The indictment, now this is what Andrew McCarthy says, of Fox News. The indictment seems to be premised on something that's not true, which is that former Deputy Director Andrew McCabe said that Comey authorized him to leak to the Wall Street Journal. If you look closely at what McCabe said was that he directed a leak to the Wall Street Journal and told Comey about it after the fact. McCarthy explained this. So it's true that Comey never authorized it in the sense of okaying it before it happened. The legal expert expanded. So I don't see how they can make that case. And if they can't prove that, they can't prove lying or obstruction. So the whole case is out. And he's a Republican. So this guy, Andrew McCarthy, said, I have known Comey for 40 years. I like him. I was in office with him, McCarthy said. But on legal stuff, I try to be clinical and call it as I see it. So I think the judge should throw the case out. But I'm afraid that he won't throw the case out because then everyone will say, he's a Biden judge and the fix is in. Even though I wouldn't want to go through it myself, it's probably better if there's a trial and the jury acquits him. But this case should be thrown out, McCarthy said. Indictment marks a stunning legal turn for the man who once led the Bureau through the Hillary Clinton email controversy and Russia investigation. Under federal law, prosecutors have 5 years to bring a charge, with the 5-year mark occurring Tuesday. This is why the fix was in from Donald Trump and the DOJ, trying to make the first guy that he appointed bring these charges. And we said, it can't do it. It's not righteous. There's not evidence to prove that he did any of this. He said, resign, get the fuck out. I'm bringing in another one of my personal defense attorneys, Lindsay Halligan, and she'll bring this case, even though she's never brought a case before in her life. We'll see what happens, but you know, let's all be very clear about this. Donald Trump is going after his political opponents. It doesn't matter if they're Democrat or Republican, guys. This guy is a Republican, a lifelong Republican. Not all Republicans would go along with Trump's blatant, illegal, and political bullshit. So, and he was one of them that wouldn't go. He wanted to bring the facts and follow the facts where they may lead without fear or favor. And it's rich to me that the guy who his biggest fucking complaints are about the Justice Department being weaponized against him, but then the first thing he does when he gets into office is to weaponize it back against people. We don't even know if they really did weaponize the Department of Justice. Maybe you were just a crook, Trump. Maybe you were just guilty of not just 34 felony counts of fraud, not just your company being found guilty of fraud, not just your old CEO Weisselberg going to prison for you because your company was found guilty of fraud. Maybe you're guilty of more stuff. Like all 91 counts against you for hoarding classified documents at your tacky pink beach club in Florida. How about that? How about trying to subvert the 2020 election, which you did 3 different ways, not just the Green Bay sweep, but the false electors, and also calling and trying to pressure Georgia to give you 11,787 votes. How about you're just a criminal? That's why people were coming for you. They just didn't do it in a timely enough fashion, is what happened. And Merrick Garland will always hang his head in shame for what he allowed to happen to this country.